Welcome back to the Creative Commerce Podcast. My name is Jeffrey Scott, your host from jeffreyscottmedia.com, and welcome back to the podcast where I talk about everything photo, video, business, freelancing, anything like that. The goal of this podcast is to hopefully build a good and strong community of creatives and just to help provide each other valuable information and network and hopefully succeed in business. This episode, I wanted to start off with something anybody can pretty much get into, probably the easiest start for videographers to build their skills on, and that would be the basic cinematic reel or cinematic montage. Basically, what that is you've got your camera, you got any other good gear that you want to use, got some good lenses, and now you want to create a cinematic piece of content. So whether it's different camera movements or you're messing with aperture with like a blurry background, now you can really put those skills to the test and build them, since maybe it's your first time getting into it and creating some sort of cinematic reel or something. And I think that's kind of the baseline for videographers wanting to get into cinematic content and promotional content and things like that. This type of content is also great for social media promos, rather than just like sticking your phone up and like recording something for social media. Although that could be good for just regular user-generated content, having something cinematic or having something with like a high production value, or if it like looks like it does, can also benefit other businesses or just benefit your personal brand itself. But before I get into all that, let's start with the gear update. So in this gear update, I found some software. It's an app for the iPhone. It's called Capture One for iPhone. Capture One allows you to connect your camera so that you can shoot right into your iPhone. The idea is that you can just leave your computer at home and just connect your camera to your phone. And so instead of having to take your SD card out of your camera, go to your laptop or computer and pull something up, you can just see what is on your camera on your phone, and you can just scroll through it, shoot and review. If you're taking photos, then you can in real time show your clients, hey, here are how the photos are coming out, and you can just show it on the screen right then and there. You can also transfer your images via the cloud to Capture One Pro to switch over and finish your work with all your ratings, color tags, and edits intact. Since the app is on your phone and it connects to your camera, you also have the ability to use your camera through your phone, either wired or wireless. You can adjust your settings, fire the shutter, etc., video, photo, all that stuff that you could do by connecting your camera. Capture One supports over 500 cameras from the major brands like Canon, Sony, Nikon, Fujifilm, and Sigma, pretty much any camera. The biggest pro that I see from this is being able to show your clients your work in real time while you're shooting. So instead of having to like bring over your camera, say it's like set on a tripod or like you don't want to mess with anything, you can just pull up your phone and show them, hey, this is how it's looking. I don't want to show you on my camera because I got it all set up, but here's how things are looking. And you can also have editing presets from your phone and have that automatically apply to the photos or whatever you are capturing. And so you could also show that as well with how it could roughly turn out to be whenever you like go home and edit. And with that, you can save styles and presets that automatically apply to all the images that you take. So instead of having to go one by one, editing it, you could just, bulk select all those images that you took and just have it automatically apply. Capture One offers a 7-day free trial with the option to start a subscription after your trial ends, and their subscription starts at only $4.99 a month. So depending if you are a people person and you work with people around you during a shoot, say the client is there shadowing or they're a part of the production process, maybe this could be worth it to show what you're doing. Also, so you don't have to mess with the camera that's set up. You can control it on your phone, presets, everything is basically all in one on your phone. So maybe that might be worth it, either if you're solo or if you're a part of a production company or business. Maybe that could be beneficial to you. Now onto the inspiration insight part of the show, the part of the show where I challenge you to do something creative, go out there and create something. And on this episode, I want to challenge you to collaborate, whether if it's collaborating with someone online or in person, preferably in person, working with somebody. Whether it's photo or video, doesn't matter. Any creative outlet you have with somebody, just find a friend or network with someone new to create something cool. It's a double positive because you're networking with someone who is also in your similar creative field, but you're also creating a better product or something for fun. It doesn't even have to be a product, but like something that you're creating together, and it has more value than if you were to just do it on your own. You're kind of just combining both of your skills and creating something that you both think is cool. And hey, double the promotion too when you push it out there for people to see. As freelancers, we're typically on our own, so it's good to help each other out and work together when we can. Just try to expand your network and make something awesome with someone. Learn how that person works, see how they operate, see what skills they have and see what skills you have, and kind of collaborate to see where you can help each other on the different skills that maybe you're weak in. It'll give you kind of an outside perspective of what you know versus what someone else knows. Because, I mean, of course, everybody doesn't know everything. So, and we also don't know what we don't know. So having a fresh perspective from somebody else's eyes could be very helpful when you're trying to either learn more, even if they're an expert, maybe even getting a mentorship out of that, something collaborative like that too. This will also probably help with referrals. So maybe you specialize in video, but this friend or this new person you found and networked with is strong in photo. Maybe if they have clients who are interested in video, they'll refer their clients to you, and then probably the reverse too. I mean, you've got a strong photo friend now, and if you just specialize in video, you can refer people to them. Two faces to two types of creative mediums come with double the audience, because you've got that person's audience and you've got your own audience that you're hopefully trying to build as well. So tagging each other and each other's work and double sharing it will double get the word out there and have more eyes looking at both of your work. If you want to share your content and have a chance to be featured on the show, have you and your new friend tag me on Instagram and use hashtag Inspiration Insight, and I'll be able to check it out. All right, so now let's get into the main topic, which is about creating your cinematic montage or cinematic reel, just the basic video any videographer has probably already made, where there's really no industry type to it, unless you want it to be. Industry types being like real estate, weddings, parties, stuff like that. This is just something cool and creative that you wanted to make that has sort of a cinematic and good aesthetic looking appeal to it now that you have a good camera, a good lens, and you're practicing your edits and stuff like that in the post-production. I think creating the basic cinematic montage is just taking some good looking video and putting some music behind it and then making edits to that song, like to the beat or whatever. It's probably just the easiest and best way to build your skills behind the camera. Through all of this, you'll learn composition, camera movements, and just even more by just doing it. I think you learn the best by doing it yourself and just putting in the hours to actually work and create something rather than just like learning on YouTube. That helps with like the logistics of things and your understanding and the knowledge of how maybe your camera works or how, frame rate works, resolution, all that stuff, the technical parts. But if you actually want to create the skill and get better at it, I think actually going out, creating it, putting the hours in will definitely help in the long run. I mean, even by going out and spending all this time working on it, you'll have a good portfolio of B-roll, just standard stock B-roll for yourself that you already created, and you could just use that in any future project. I know I've used a lot of B-roll for many different things when I've gone out and shoot, even for other paid gigs, getting cool B-roll of certain things, especially from different industry types or maybe out in nature. I've used things repeatedly for a lot of projects because it just it fit. And I mean, I also wanted some more diverse footage. So it's not always bad to go out and shoot just for the sake of shooting, because it just builds your skills, and then it also just builds kind of your own little stock library. And when you create stuff, you can just put it out there, see what people think, see if it gains popularity, like if you create a reel on Instagram or something, or push out that kind of content on YouTube. And it'll just also help with creating a personal brand, and I think that's very important when you're trying to become a content creator. Not much of the influencer type of content creator, but if you want to go down that route, you can. But more of being involved in the content creation space and the content creation community, I think that'll benefit you with creating, just going out and creating, I guess. When I first started out and had no connections, this is basically what I would do. Even in high school, I mean, just learning how to use my camera and all the settings and stuff. Just going out and creating stuff for the sake of wanting to learn and just edit at home and see what looks cool. Okay, this shot didn't work, or it isn't how I expected it to be when I was shooting because of this. And now I'm learning that, okay, maybe next time I'll shoot like this. Oh, I used the wrong frame rate, or the resolution doesn't look good here. My ISO was too high. Just everything you kind of learn by sitting and reviewing everything. And I've learned a lot from trial and error. I think that's the best way to learn, just being able to get stuff. Maybe you thought it was cool while you were shooting, but now you're home and reviewing that footage and you're trying to put an edit together and you realize that it sucks. That's a aspect of growth. Now you're seeing how it could be improved, and the next time you go out there, you'll know what to avoid, what to look out for. That's definitely helped me a lot, because now I kind of have the experience. It's just building experience of just learning what works, what doesn't, just testing things out. You don't have to jump straight into the business side of things first when it comes to photography, videography, things like that. You have a ton of time. Just have fun doing it and just put in the hours of getting better. And the more time you put into it, the more time you hone your focus on something for a certain amount of time, you'll become better and better at it. I read somewhere that it takes 10,000 hours to become a master at any particular skill. So in the beginning hours, just practicing on your own will just put in those hours. So even doing paid work, I'm sure I haven't hit those 10,000 hours. I don't know how long it's been, probably tens of years maybe, because you're not doing it 24/7. Just putting in those hours to define your skill, hone in and focus on what you're doing, and just making the best of it. Every shoot you'll typically do better if it's a paid shoot, or if it's not a paid shoot, maybe you're working with someone and just helping them out. You'll just get better every single time because you have the experience of how to talk with people, how to shoot on this particular set, how to light on this particular set. Just everything kind of combines together, and you just apply that to everything in the future, and it just creates a good knowledge base of what to look out for and how to approach certain situations. And if you're already a seasoned videographer or photographer, I'd say this still applies to you. I feel like I'm kind of a pro, but there's definitely a lot of people out there who do a lot better. There's always going to be someone that does better than you. And there's always going to be somebody that does better than that person too. There's always going to be someone better than everyone in any particular skill. So everybody has potential to grow and learn and get better. If you're wanting to get better faster, I'd recommend trying to get into a different industry type or trying out something you haven't done before. There's a ton of different video and photo types to try, whether that's weddings, real estate, drones even, for both video and photo with drones, and music videos, ton more that you could get into. Drone stuff is a very profitable way to go for both video and photo. You could offer the same services, photo and video, for the same industry type, like say real estate. Maybe for the real estate, maybe you're a videographer and you're putting together like a real estate showcase reel. You can get drone video of the outside house, of course, but then at the same time, you could offer photography of drone shots of the outside of the house. You can just take stills from the video you already captured. It's kind of a 2-in-1 while you're already there. You could charge a lot for drone stuff, and with what you charge for your drone content, you could probably make back the money that you spent on the drone in just like a couple of shoots or so. So I feel like it's definitely worth it, especially testing and applying for your FAA drone license. I'll probably talk about this in a future episode and how I got my license. It's the FAA Part 107, I think it's commercial, or it's the unmanned air systems, basically drone. That's what they call for the FAA. But yeah, I'll talk about that in another part. But being licensed allows you to show more credibility that you are, I guess, legally allowed to fly with like certain drones that are over a certain weight limit in certain airspaces, different commercial uses as well. Because if you're just flying a drone, it's assumed legally that you're just flying as a hobby. But of course, a lot of people don't do that. They get a smaller drone like the DJI mini drones, which are the kind of hobbyist weight of the drones, so then you don't have to register it. But if you want to work for big companies and do things commercially, then getting your drone license is probably required. But yeah, off that tangent, just talking about things that you could do that you haven't done before, just create that feeling of nervousness, of feeling that you're taking on a first. I had this feeling a few weeks ago when I shot my first wedding. I was really nervous, and I just haven't felt that feeling in a long time, that first time jitters of doing something for the first time again. If just inserting yourself into situations where you don't really belong, or you feel like you don't really belong, and just making it feel like, okay, this is my first time doing this. I'm going to try to learn as much as I can from this. It's a really good feeling to have, because that's when you know that you are learning and building your skills with something new. If you don't feel that nervousness, then you're probably already comfortable or too comfortable in that certain situation that you're in and creating in. But if you have that feeling of nervousness, then I think that really locks in that it's like, okay, I am building and gaining something from this, whether it's experience, knowledge, things like that. Yeah, I hope that was valuable to you on just creating your first, or not even your first, even if you've done this for a while, just creating that basic reel, that basic type of content that could basically be applied to anything. I think even on the photo side, it applies to just going out and taking photos that you think look, I guess, cinematic or aesthetically pleasing to the eye, and then going home and editing it and practicing to make it look like the look that you want it to be and how you would want to present that to people. I think that's a good skill to have, of just going out just to go out and create. So now on to the content spotlight. So I was just scrolling around on Instagram and I found this photographer. His @ is @FC1Alex, and he's a pretty cool car photographer. I really like how his colors come out in all of his photos, and I just really like how he puts things together and the composition of things. There was this really cool composition that he's done a few times that I saw that he posted where it's like one image from a certain point of view of the car, and then on top it's just the other photo of a different point of view just on top. If you're watching this on YouTube, I'll put an example of what I'm talking about, of what I found. It's just 2 point of views in one photo. It's not like a panorama. It's just kind of like, I don't know, plays with shapes, I guess. And I think that's a cool composition to mess with. I think just having the 2 views in one where it's like compositionally acceptable, I think that looks pretty cool. I feel like you could do the same with video as well, having 2 different perspectives play at the same time. And maybe you could do something like creative or artistic where maybe one is showing, of course, a different point of view, but then the other one's getting the different view, maybe like from behind somebody, or maybe it's foreshadowing that something is going to happen in like the main composition of things. I think there's just a lot of creative things that you could do with it. Makes me a little excited to think about it, because I like how people try different compositions and challenge things creatively. I think that helps everybody. I think it just inspires everybody generally. So I think it'd be pretty cool to mess around. Hey, inspiration insight number 2, I guess. Just try it out, I guess, or follow this guy on Instagram at FC1Alex. Pretty cool stuff. But yeah, that's the content I wanted to spotlight today. So let's just get down to business in Business 101, the segment where I give business tip that hopefully applies to everybody and helps in business ventures. Whether you're a photographer or videographer, I think this is probably very important, is to get testimonials after your shoot. Testimonials are very key to providing social proof and just proof of your work and how it affected that person. Either if it's a written testimonial or you straight up interview the person on video, testimonials are very important and a great way for your clients to sell for you. Only request a testimonial after you have provided an outstanding experience and exceptional work where they could probably just go on and on about how they loved working with you. I mean, of course, satisfied clients are more likely to talk about your work and give you a good testimonial. And if you're requesting a written testimonial, just try to make it as easy as possible for your client to provide feedback. When I request testimonials, I try to write some sentence starters for them. So just making it as easy as possible for them to, one, not only avoid and ghost it because it's a lot of work for them to like think about it and write it down. I just try to treat everybody like they're busy 24 hours in the day, and I just want to make it as easy as possible for them to just whip out their phone and be like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll say this quick thing about them, and then I'm going to use that on everything, like on the project. If I put it on my website, make a little graphic with like their testimonial that I'll put on my front page. Just something easy for them to just jump into and just do in a minute. Writing sentence starters for your clients to get a testimonial is also kind of a good way to cheat the system, where you kind of write what you want them to say about you. So I've had people where I've written some like vague, where they could fill in the blanks, sentence starters, and they've kind of used those, and it kind of helped create what I wanted to hear and create kind of like an accurate representation of what happened. Don't create like a template sentence starter. Be like personal. Create it out of what happened on the gig. Make it custom. Don't just copy and paste a template to everybody because they're all going to get the same stuff. Maybe you get 5 testimonials. Now they're all going to kind of sound the same. Once you get some testimonials, put them on your projects or on your website. It's a great way to showcase social proof. And social proof is probably the best way to advertise. It just shows real working results that new clients want so they could get to work with you. Testimonials are super powerful, and it just builds trust and credibility in your photography or videography businesses approaching new clients. Now you have a social proof to show for. Maybe you made X amount of money for this business. Show for that. Have them talk about that, or maybe feature that in the testimonial and say, here's the proof that I did for this business. I could probably do the same or better for you. They definitely provide a lot of insights into the quality of your work from a real perspective, from somebody who spent money on you, and now somebody who is looking to spend money on you will look at that and be like, okay, this person paid this person because of this, and here's what they had to say. Even how you act, like if you had a sense of professionalism and if you just gave them a good social experience as well outside of your skills, because if you just have good skills and you don't have good social awareness, then you'll just be kind of like a weird guy that people don't really want to work with. I mean, sure, your product's good, but you want to be pleasant to work with during it all as well. Create an experience for them. Just create a positive experience where they're left smiling, and they'll probably even mention that in the testimonial. Don't be shy about collecting testimonials and leveraging them to attract new clients to grow your business. I don't know if it's just me, but I kind of feel weird asking for them to leave a positive testimonial after a shoot. Like maybe I just sent them whatever they asked for, and I said, hey, could you take a couple minutes to give me a testimonial? I don't know why it feels awkward to me, but maybe it's just hearing what they think of me. But in the long run, it's just going to help out because you'll be able to show that social proof and what they actually think of you. And it's actually a better experience than it actually is, because you'll get to hear what they actually think, and it'll boost your confidence and help you in other shoots. I haven't done this yet, but I plan on doing this when I become more local around certain businesses, or maybe I have a deeper connection with a business or a client that I'm working with. But doing video testimonials, I feel like that would strike a lot more than just reading text and then seeing like a photo of them for a testimonial. Just straight up interviewing them, asking them personal questions, asking them how it was to work with you. I think people seeing a talking head would be more credible than seeing text and a photo of them. I've seen testimonials like that before, and it seems to work a lot better. I mean, I've shot testimonials for other companies, like customers talking about the company, but I've seen some, not a lot, of service businesses like videographers and photographers where they have filmed and interviewed their past clients. I think that would be interesting to see. I think it would be also interesting to see how you would follow up with a past client of yours. Maybe you're looking for more work with a client that you've already worked for. Maybe sitting down yourself and talking to your client through a video and just sending that to them so it's more personal and you've taken the time to shoot and edit something for them. I haven't seen that before, but it's just been an idea that I've been thinking about doing, rather than just sending a lengthy, boring email where it's just text and I'm just trying to get you to spend money on me. I think that would be an interesting idea to go down for. I think I'm going to try that soon, see how that works. But yeah, that's the business tip I wanted to share, and that's about it for this episode. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you tune in next week, Wednesday, 12 p.m. Central Standard Time on YouTube and Spotify. You can follow me on Instagram and TikTok at jeffrey.scott_. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.